Islam, sheet the way by Bay, my Moorish American nation and family. Islam and money.
Islam.
Okay, Money Great Bay is here. I'm at American Extended Stay, and I'm about to give testimony of odd experience at Burger King. So this morning I posted how yesterday I was working, and this has happened before. Forcefully, all of a sudden I had to cough, and Miss Phillips would say, I have a mask on. I'll be taking an order. This doesn't happen. It only happens a few times when I'm at Burger King, or out of the blue. It could be after certain situations may happen that are odd, whatever. And the customer come at the register, I'll take their order, and forcefully I might have to cough, but we have to wear a mask. And so me having to wear a mask, the cough goes into the mask. Miss Phyllis, this happened yesterday, and she was like, change your mask. I said, okay. I just did what she said. I said, okay, no problem, because I want to keep my hours. I'm not going to argue with her. She says, change your mask, change your mask. This morning when I came into Burger King, actually CJ was there when this happened. CJ is the owner's son. It's owned by a Chinese American. She said that's according to her words. She's her name is Janelle, and Carl, as far as I know, he's would be considered pale skin. I don't know if he claimed a nationality. And so I don't so anyway, CJ is, as far as I know, is their son. He does the scheduling. So yesterday he was there when this happened, and when I called forcefully, I did it 3 times. And this has happened before once again, when odd situations happen. And anyway, I saw CJ before I left. I told him he had put up the schedule. The schedule goes up on Wednesdays, and he put the schedule up for 3 weeks in a row. Okay, this is the first time in almost, I can't tell you how long. It's been so long since I've had 50 hours in a paycheck. I was so happy because the schedule shows I have 50 hours. So I'm like really, really happy. And I told CJ, I said, CJ, thank you for the hours, and thank you for allowing me to work. And he said, you definitely allowing me to earn money here. I said, thank you for allowing me to earn money here at Burger King. He said, you definitely earn your money, earned your money, or something like that, in so many words. I said, thank you, I appreciate it. I was just telling him I'm very appreciative of the hours, and I said, thank you for allowing me to earn money at Burger King. This morning when I came into work, the second register has been shut down for a while. Burger King was only the managers, Miss Phyllis, Thomas, were only using one register. So the second register, the credit card machine wasn't working right, but the cash you can use. So for whatever reason, they never opened up the second register so the customers that had cash can use it. So it many times when I would be taking an order, if there's a line that appeared, all of a sudden, Miss Phillips would tell Sherlyn or a coworker, Mindy, or another coworker or something, to go take the order, as though I'm going too slow to take orders. So I didn't understand why they wouldn't just open up the second register. I remember Thomas pointed me out one day, and it was a lot of odd stuff happening that day. And he said, okay, we're going to have a quick meeting. And so all of us came together to have a quick meeting. And he just stopped. After we got together, he just looked at me. He said, Rhonda, you got to stop walking away from the customers. I said, when was the last time you seen me walk? I said, walk away. He said, you walk away from the customers and they don't know what you leave them hanging. You walk away cleaning and doing stuff. I said, okay. I said, when was the last time you seen me do that? He couldn't answer the question, when was the last time he saw me do that. Then he said, and you take too long to take the customer's order. But I asked him, I said, sir, can you tell me the last time you saw me do this? And he said he couldn't tell me. He didn't say anything. He didn't respond. He didn't say anything. He just went to the next thing and said, I take too long to take orders. I said, I take too long. I said, sometimes, I was thinking to myself, customers, they change their mind. They sometimes if they're elderly, they take a little longer, so forth. But I try my best to go as fast as I can. But once again, I'm trying to keep my job, so I didn't. I just said okay, And after that, after he made that comment, he never gave a example of me walking away. That's when I noticed that the second register stayed closed, and when a line of customers would come in to Burger King, Miss Phillips would tell Sherilyn or someone other than me to take a order, to get on the register, that one register, and it'll be people in line to have their order taken, and let one they just ran one register. So I just said, I figured they had their reasons. I would just said I'll do better. So what I've been doing is trying to make sure I communicate to the customers if I have to turn around to grab a card, because we do, for the discounts, or if we have to make drinks, because now we have to make drinks. We've been having to make drinks ever since COVID-19 implementation of these rules and so forth, and so the dining room is still closed, so we have to make drinks for the customers. So I try my best to tell the customer I'll be right back, or even though the card is usually one, two, maybe 2 steps away, I might have to turn around to grab the card to give them a discount, to swipe a card to give them a discount, or I might have to turn around to say something to, because, and once again, it's fast paced, so I try to make sure I don't leave the customers hanging. So anyway, this morning, I went into Burger King, and these past couple of days, or maybe, the past couple of days, the second register has been working. The credit card machine wasn't working for maybe almost over a week, or approximately a week. It wasn't working. For whatever reason, I don't know why. It just wasn't working. And sometimes it would work for certain customers. Certain transactions will go through, and then some it just wouldn't work. So I don't know what exactly caused it to not work. The technological communications, but definitely it wasn't working. And by the way, if you heard the phone going off, that's my phone going off. It just started going off out of the blue, making noises a few moments ago. And so this morning when I came into Burger King, because yesterday I counted down the second drawer for the first time, or the second time. So yes, it was the second time. This week is the first week I have the second register again. And so today I just went ahead and count the register now, because I see because things are back to they're using 2 registers again. I took the register in the office. Okay, it's been a long time since I had to count the register down, because they were only using 1 register for a long time. So I was counting down the register in the office, and Miss Phillips went in there and said, she started to move her drinks. She said, "I don't trust you in here with my food." I said, "You don't trust me in here with your food?" And I started laughing. She said, "No, I don't trust you in here with my food." I said, "You think I'm gonna do something to your food?" I said, "You joking, right?" I just started laughing. I was like, "This is the manager, Phyllis. She's African American, unless she claimed a nationality. James, the manager, is African American, unless he claimed a nationality. Thomas is African American, unless he claimed a nationality." Okay, and I started laughing. I said, "Are you joking?" And she said, "No, I'm not joking." I said, "You're not joking?" And she walked on the front line. I was like, "Phyllis," I said, "Miss Phyllis, I am the epitome of health." Because I was in a great mood. I said, I had just got through early in the morning. I usually drink one of these alkaline waters on my way to work, sometimes 2. I drink 2 of these alkaline waters, and I make Imani and I make fruit smoothies, and we also let me show you. So we make fruit smoothies. Okay, we make fruit smoothies as much as we can, as many days as we can during the week, early in the morning. It's like a breakfast. And these are organic fruit smoothies. We use our moringa powder, our 4-sigmatic mushrooms. Usually I put this in my moringa powder tea. I make a herbal tea, and then we also put it in our chlorophyll. So I'm feeling pretty good. I don't drink coffee anymore. I haven't had a cup of coffee and I can't tell you how long. It's been too long to remember. And don't crave it either. It's just like I haven't had French fries or potatoes and too long to remember. So anyway, I'm just feeling good because I'm eating according to the chemistry of my body. Now, this works for me. This might not work for everybody. I'm Rhonda Arrington-Bey, but it works for me. So I looked at Miss Phyllis, and she's down at the other end, and I see Mindy and Shirley, and I said, Miss Phyllis, what do you mean you don't trust you don't trust me with your food? And I said, I'm the epitome of health. I want everyone to be healthy. I wouldn't tamper with your food. So she's implying that I might poison or do something to her food. It makes me think about, because I'm at American Extended Stay still in Annapolis, Maryland. We're here in in American Extended Stay now. It reminds me of how I had to keep asking American Extended Stay to make sure nobody comes in my room to tamper with our things. That includes our food as well. Because so much talking and odd activity outside and around the room constantly, that so much that I had to complain. So I was like, okay. But I told, this is today in front of Mindy and the co-workers. So I was like, I wouldn't, I'm like, I'm the epitome of health. I want everyone to be happy. Be healthy. I said, I was like, I had 2 bottles of water, and I showed, I was like, I was demonstrating at the fire station. I was like, I had 2 bottles of water. By this time, Miss Phyllis was still I think she was in drive-thru or somewhere, but Mindy was standing next to me and she was listening. And I was like, I'm eating according to the chemistry of my body, and it makes me feel good. I feel healthy because I have figured out what my body asks and needs. Okay, and it makes me feel good. I haven't had to go to the hospital since 2010. Not having to spend money at a hospital, a pharmacist, tremendous money, or that sort of, or even insurance, all that, because just learning my body and trying to implement holistic health for me. And Imani does the same thing, and many more do. So I was so surprised when she said that, and it just made me think about how I had so many times I have to tell American Extended Stay that I spoke to the general manager, I spoke to the staff to make sure no one comes to the room, and I said, if they come in the room, like the maid for cleaning, that's great, but I understand, but make sure no one else is allowed in the room. I said only Dwayne Bathfield Bey, Imani, Gray Bay, and I are allowed in the room. No one else. We don't know anyone personally here. If they say they work for Burger King or whatever, they are lying, and they know me, they're lying, because many people still say paid, brother. They sound like an animal, like they deranged. Like a robot, like something wrong with them, like they some type of like crazy, like unnatural, saying brother, I love you, paid, Burger King, he paid, he loves her, she loves your son. Literally like something like a sick manifestation of something. So anyway, I don't know, we don't know anyone personally here, and so but I could just give you testimony, what we experienced and what I've experienced. So it's enough to say, please make sure nobody enters this room at American Extended Stay that we pay $870 every 2 weeks to stay in. Okay, we pay $872 every 2 weeks to stay in, or it fluctuates, but usually that's around about how much it costs to live here. So I just let it go. Okay, then James, the manager, came on about 2 p.m. He's the African American manager, and to remind you, he said he's the one I spoke with and asked him, was he ever in the Army, and he said he was in the Army, or he might be still in the Army. I can't remember exactly how the conversation went. It's just like some people are saying, this is so odd, because some people say James trying to sue, going to sue. These are spirits. Everyone has a spirit saying James is trying to. So I know who is James, and who is this James that's trying to sue. But what I was thinking about, so today, today I'm like thinking like, okay, who is this James? But so getting back to Burger King, so James is the guy that said he might be in the army or that he was in the army and he might be still in the army. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he also is the manager that called me out early for no reason, even though I was demonstrating what happened, and I recorded him doing it. He today at around 2 p.m. he clocked in. He used to come in about 2 p.m. and I'm working, okay? And he all of a sudden he said, okay, there was a black male that drives a FedEx truck, okay? Because some of the customers that come into Burger King, the main customers that come into Burger King, even today, people that are in the United States, military, army, and navy, because even today they male, females, fully dressed in uniform. Police officers, Burger King offers them, the police, a discount. Those who have claim of nationality, I would call them pale skin, African American. Those that speak Spanish, they could be from South America, Mexico, so forth, etc. That speak Spanish, and healthcare workers. So a large community of those that speak Spanish come into Burger King. So it's good for us to try to. I try to pick up Spanish as much as I can. A large community, all right, and a large community of African Americans or Black Americans, and then the pale skin that possibly haven't claimed a nationality. You just call them pale skin. White is not a correct term for them. Okay. So he came in and he was I noticed I spoke to him, but when I spoke to him, he just walked away. And so I just said, okay, So I noticed he was just standing in front of the office, because the office is right here, and you can walk out and walk front, and there's the front line. And I noticed he was just standing there, and it seemed like he was just observing. I'm not sure what he was observing. He's done this before. And there was a line of customers, and after I got through taking all the customers over, I started to look at each and every, go back on the system and look at each and every ticket to see who needed to have their drink made, because I think at that time Phyllis was expediting. James was just still sitting there, okay? Phyllis was expediting or standing there, and this is a little bit maybe about 2:20, 2:25. I'm not sure. Who else? I think Sherlyn might have been expediting with her. I'm not sure, but she was. He was just there. Looks like he was observing. I saw him when he came on, so I it definitely looked like he clocked in. I saw him do that, but he's a manager, so I'm not licking. I'm just trying to do my job. So I went through and started making the drinks, because I said, okay, everybody looks like they've been served. And I had one more customer come in. He ordered a Whopper Jr. and a small Diet Coke. He was the last customer. After I made the drinks for the customers, approximately six customers before him, and made sure that they had the straw, whatever that needed to be done. There was one more customer that came in and had ordered a Whopper Jr. and a small Diet. Took his order. I seen him there before. He's a pale skin customer. I've seen him there before. Then he went to the right. I had left a box of marinara sauce and the container I was trying to fill up the container for a little while. I couldn't finish because the customers came in. A line of customers came in. The black male with the FedEx truck, just the trigger of my thought, was one of them. So I couldn't finish because I see FedEx trucks driving around constantly. All right. So I couldn't finish filling it up, and then so I had to stop. So after I took the last customer, there was a pause, and the last customer came in, the pale skin, ordered Whopper Jr. small Diet. Took his order, he went to the right. I said, okay, the perfect time. Let me go ahead, put this box up, because it's been on the counter for a long time. I've been corrected before about leaving stuff on the counter. Let me remove remove this box quickly, and put the marinara sauce where it's supposed to be. And then I saw this really filthy napkin that was one of the customers obviously left on the counter at the other end. And I grabbed a clean napkin. I had on gloves to pick it up, but I still touched it. But as I was picking it up, or getting ready, in the process of picking it up, because I was like, I gotta change my gloves. James was like, did you make that customer's order drink? The last customer that I just took the order before there was a pause. There were no more customers after him. I said, he said, make the customer's drink. He just said, make the customer's drink. Now, once again, he was just sitting there, standing there for approximately 15 minutes. That's the time limit I'm giving, okay? Maybe 10 to 15 minutes. He just, I mean, he had clocked in, okay? As far as I've seen. I could be wrong, but, I mean, that's the time he usually comes in, about 2. And he was just standing there, okay? And I said, okay. So I went to the back, because I had the dirty tissue. It had, I don't know what it was on it. I threw it away, took the glove off to go put on a clean glove to make the drink. He said, you didn't do what I said, or something like that. Get off my clock out and go home. I said, James, I needed to change my glove and the tissue. He wouldn't listen. He just walked away and told me to clock out and go home. Miss Phyllis didn't say anything. She and I then finally I looked at him. I found he walked outside to the trash bin, came back. I said, sir, I explained to him what happened. I said, I had the tissue in my hand that was filthy, and I needed to change my glove to make the drink. And he's also the manager that told me if my hands are dripping with sanitizer, if I just got through wiping the counters off, for me to go ahead and make drinks with sanitizer on my gloves. When I told him, customers have complained about this before. One of the customers that Miss Phyllis, that used to be a regular, he used to wear the military veteran stuff all over him, saying, demonstrating he was a veteran. He was a black male, is a black male. He would come in, and he was one that complained. He seemed to imply to know Miss Phyllis personally. So he wanted me to, and even when I told him what happened, he still told me to clock out and go home. Even when I explained to him, I said, I'm not trying, because he made it seem like I don't want to make a drink. I was like, I'm not, so I just, I clocked out and I went home now. So when I'm hearing Spirit say James is trying to sue, I was like, who is this James? I'm like, why? And then things like this happened with James, the manager, out of the blue. I mean, he literally was just standing there. He was just like observing, and then it's like he got like a signal. He got like a signal to like do something. To say something like that. As I was grabbing the dirty tissue, knowing because this is my habit. If you look at the cameras, I'm pretty sure you can study people's habits. I'm going to change my gloves. I'm going to try to keep things sanitized. Burger King doesn't use the trays anymore. They stopped using the trays maybe a week ago. After about maybe a week and a half ago, when I was telling you, one of the black males came in that has Army on their truck. He was, he got upset because I was trying to put the straw on the counter like we supposed to. We were using the trays. Burger King had us using the trays at that time, and he was trying to grab the straw out of my hand forcefully. And he's a regular. He already knew what Burger King had been implementing for a long time. So I clocked out, and I said, sir, and I asked him, I said, so why are you trying to cut my hours? Because I just got these hours. So why are you trying to cut my hours? And he said you could go sit in dining room. Then Miss Phyllis went and started talking with him and encouraged. Said, don't, let her talk to herself. She's gonna keep talking. Let her talk to herself. And I just got, I just went ahead. I clocked out, and because I should not have clocked out. I think I should have let him clock me out because I didn't do anything wrong. I've always, so it makes me think about why these spirits keep saying James is trying to sue, and I'm dealing with, in reference to. And I'm dealing with someone who is named James, a manager, who seems to act irrational out of the blue. Just a couple of days ago, this was so today is Thursday. This was Tuesday. He came in. I would tell the cooks. He came in about 2. I would tell the cooks to drop fries. He would say, "We don't need fries. Don't drop fries." And then I could tell the cooks would look odd, like they were, like odd. And then he would go around and drop fries. Right after I say, right after he told them, after I asked them to drop fries, he told them not to drop fries. So and then he was just start trying to find things to like be irritated about and speak sort of like very disrespectful, like odd towards me. I ignore it like I have done with other employees or co-workers, because I'm trying to earn money and I need to earn money, and this is what I'm trying to do right now, and I haven't done anything wrong. What's this, I don't understand when they curse. I try to back away from them cursing. I say, oops, you're cursing. You don't have to curse. I don't curse. I'm not in a conversation when they curse. But sometimes when they're just talking and they venting or explain, they just start cursing out of the blue. They curse more now than I have ever heard them curse. So I just, I just sort of just, stay, just, anyway. So even when Miss Phyllis just said, when she said that she didn't trust me around her food, I said, Miss Phyllis, okay, we having a conversation. This is a joke, right? Because I'm trying to keep it calm. I'm trying to keep earning my money. And she said, no, this is not a joke. I don't trust you around my food. I told you, she said, this is why I don't want you counting the register in the office, because you might because of my food. And this is not what she told me before they only had one register. She was the only manager who didn't want me to go in the office and count. It was whether all of a sudden, this just happened out of the blue, whether I would use the calculator. The calculator is easy, is quicker. Okay, I've counted the drawer without the calculator, no problem. But I would use the calculator, and I can count, even though I have made mistakes. But it's so easy just to get. When I say can count, it's easy for me. I like to, if I can't figure it out, except for one time with a customer, I was so tired. I don't know why I did this. I tried to, she gave me some money off or whatever, and I was trying to figure it out without using my pen and paper. This just happened maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was completely off. And for whatever reason, she had took out her calculator. She's like, this is what it is. I was like, oh, thank you. That's the first time that ever happened. But me, I usually take out my pen and paper. I'll add it up and subtract. It's no problem. So this is not she just didn't want me to use the calculator or be in the office and use the calculator, which is fast to do. You go do and you're gone. I just said, okay, no problem. She's the only manager that didn't want that. She never said why. Today she said she doesn't want me in there. Now she has said don't touch my food when you're in the office, and just don't go in the office. I was like, I was telling her I'm not gonna mess with your food. So today she actually just saying she don't trust me around her food, like I'm gonna do something to her food. And so I am not. I was like, what kind of resources do I have to do anything with her food? What kind of resources do I have? I'm not a chemist, okay? I'm not a chemist. I'm not going to put food in any poison or anything in her food to make her gain weight, make her lose weight, and make her feel sick. What kind of resources do I have to put or do anything to her food? The only thing I could do possibly is spit in her food, and that is not in my nature or my behavior to do so. And so this is why I was telling American Extended Stay, please make sure nobody comes into our room, because they're responsible. We pay $170 every 2 weeks. That the least they can do is make sure our things are protected and nobody else into this room besides us. Okay, whether they honor constitutional rights or not, that's on them, but that's the least they can do. So let me just say that. So when I came in today at American Extended Stay, police officers were outside in the parking lot. It looked like a movie. Once again, like like some sort of film being filmed. They were putting a woman up against the car. It looked like arresting her. It didn't even look real. And some of them, as I walked by, started to say something about peace or something. They were saying something. One of the cops said something like peace or something like that. So it looked like a movie, like it wasn't even real. Okay, our tablet still goes off, like hearing like a robot, like mumbling around the room. When my dreams are being invaded, people all of a sudden bumping is going up and down on the second floor, like somebody's walking or bumping purposely when my dreams are being invaded and while I'm trying to sleep. Somebody saying I love you, Spanish speaking, close by and around the room. So today, as I said, because I was forced to clock out, as I was walking into American Student State, these cops, it didn't even look real. Like, I'm pretty sure, who pays the cops? I'm thinking taxpayers' money pays these cops in Annapolis, Maryland. It didn't even look real. Looked like they were staging some form of a movie, and had a woman thrown up against the car. Okay, it's long. So that's what I experienced today. Let me think of anything else I needed to speak about. Besides, it made me think about also how one of the co-workers, his name was Khalid, he just would speak about, one day he was just talking about how Annapolis has a high rate of venereal diseases, like a high rate of venereal disease, herpes. And so imagine a disease abomination Phil saying I love you, and you already know something wrong with it. Not only that, this is coming, far as what I remember, he said he's from Annapolis. He said, he was just talking about it like it was nothing. He was like, with a group of the co-workers at Burger King, speaking about how Annapolis had a high rate of venereal diseases. Now, venereal disease, like used the word herpes, but there's also other diseases. There's viruses, HIV, so forth. So, can you imagine having someone constantly saying, I love you, he loves her, she loves your son, in an area where you have different communities, like the African American community has a high rate of diseases, venereal diseases. The Hispanic community has a high rate of venereal diseases. And then the pale skin is just right behind them, not far behind them. Can you imagine? So, that's exactly what we're among. So, it seems chaotic when I give testimony, Sheet Dwayne Baffa Bay, but that's exactly what it is. It's chaos. And then you have them saying, love, Black Lives Matter. You have people running around, just literally like animals, sounding like animals. You don't know, I don't know them. We don't know anyone personally, but I just be like, okay, whatever. I just keep it when I do my prayers, my verbal prayers as I'm walking, and say amen. So, when I'm giving that testimony because of when you're dealing with thoughts and you're dealing with speech, it's all the same. Just a couple of days, yesterday, a co-worker that used to work for Burger King came into Burger King. His name is Eric. He's from El Salvador. He looked totally different. He's a young guy. I don't know, about 18, 19 years old. And I said, oh, Eric. I said, hi, you look well. How you doing? I haven't seen him in months. It's been so long, maybe a year. And he said, a lot of people have been telling me that. I lost a lot of weight. I'm working, he said I remember he telling me his family had a business. This is what he said out his mouth. He was like, eating Whoppers every day, I just gain weight, I just, so now I don't eat Whoppers. So, it's so many words. He used the word Whoppers. I didn't say anything. I just gave him a compliment, okay, on him looking well, because he did. I remember he said his father or his family owns a business. I think he said he works outside. But he brought up how he don't eat Whoppers. So anyway, I eat according to the chemistry of my body, and so does Imani. And this is what makes us feel good. This is what keeps us healthy, besides the forced pains we have experienced. I have experienced that come out of nowhere. Islam. So I give testimony about, even today as I was walking back, I feeling forced sharp pain in my ankle, coming from wherever way, because we are among unclean spirits that are able to do this. And we dealing with the military, the United States military, that's unnaturalized. When you're among such things, a foreign entity is using them because they are unnaturalized. So they're not in constitutional fold. So they can be used as terrorists. They're not going to respect the spirit of freedom. They themselves are being used as slaves. And so they try to be slave masters and breed, but they themselves are being used as chattel property slaves because they're not in constitutional fold. And not only that, they train for armed combat. So you're dealing with slaves, if they are unnaturalized, who are trained to kill. and could be terrorists upon true American citizens who have been naturalized, such as I and Imani, who have been naturalized as terrorists. So they could be used easily as terrorists, whether they're African American, pale skin, or speak Spanish, a Hispanic of some sort. Or even Asian, because it doesn't. The United States military have, yes, they are predominantly African American, pale skin, and Hispanic, but you have others too that are in the United States military. Maybe they are joined for whatever reason. Okay, so Islam, I'm going to leave that with that. And once again, I deal with unnaturalized, because dealing with unnaturalized, those that are unnaturalized who don't respect constitutional law have a high probability of committing crimes than those who are. Okay, and I didn't know, once again, Miss Phyllis' husband was, and this has nothing to do with her, was retired from the Navy until last year, November 2020. I had no idea, and that's only because she was talking so loud about it to a woman that drove a car that had the fraternal police order sign on it.